So, John, tell us, what were we doing in Norway?
We were very lucky. We both basically got the ski bug, 10 years ago? I think you were skiing before I was, actually.
I was skiing when my knees were able to.
Oh, God, yeah. But, I mean, when we met, and it was like my first time or second time ever, you'd been skiing a bit. You
I
could
had,
ski.
Yeah.
So when did you start?
We met on the ski holiday that my wife had arranged. And,
it's true.
You know, my wife knew
Claire Tours.
My lovely wife.
Claire Tours.
My lovely wife knew your lovely wife, and between them they arranged a holiday. I actually knew your wife from way back in my early days at the bar. She was called a year before me, and we met at very early days. So I'd known her for quite a while.
But I'd met her way before
I know
you.
I know.
me and Jane met in about 89.
Listen, when John says he met her, he met her not in the same sense that I met her.
I hope not. Anyway, let's put a moratorium on the ski trip.
Yeah.
So basically, we met effectively 10 years ago.
I think our first joint ski holiday was 2015.
That was Claire Tours 1, wasn't it?
It was Claire Tours. I'd say Claire Tours because my wife Claire is just
organizer,
the most capable organizer of everything, including me. And she arranges these tours usually 18 months to a year in advance. And it's just a whiz at this kind of thing.
Anyway, that's where we met, and it's actually where we became friends. Yep. There was things going on there that neither you or I thought were right, and it helped bond us and kind of
we had a big trip with I think there was nearly 16, 17, something like that.
Lawyers.
Mostly lawyers, some non-lawyers who didn't really know anybody. Anyway, the long and the short of it was not as cohesive a group as we'd have liked, and there was a bit of not a physical fracas, almost a physical fracas, but not quite. Anyway, so we bonded over that. But we've moved, we've been skiing pretty much every year since then.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so that brings us up to date. So we've been we went to Norway. So we had a recommendation from what is now a friend of ours called Ailey out in Châtel in France.
Ski instructor.
Yep,
from Scotland.
and a ski instructor. Mm-hmm. She actually still instructs. I think it's the RAF or the Army team or both.
RAF.
So she's incredibly good. Yes. Anyway, and she, because you get if you go skiing a lot, you end up. You do France, maybe you do Italy, you do Australia. You tend to go back to the same places. And she really recommended Norway, and she said that. So we went to Norway, and first thing, if you do ski, and you probably haven't done Norway, because most people I know haven't, it was a surprise, wasn't it? Because one of the things was we went in expecting it to be very expensive, very premium, much more expensive than going to France.
Yep.
And we didn't find that.
No, and the interesting thing was the flights were really good. The accommodation was really good. And we hired a rent-a-wreck.
Literally.
Which literally, it was...
That's his name. Its name is Rent-a-Wreck.
The company's name is Rent-a-Wreck. And so we had a 9-seater van, which we managed to pile all our gear in and head off. It was like a 3.5 hour, the rate I was driving. But I just wanted to take it steady. And but it was great. It did the job. That really, so those elements were much cheaper than the transfer, the flights and the accommodation in France. And
so the accommodation was cheaper, generally.
Much.
The lift passes were way cheaper.
Way cheaper.
So the only thing that was more expensive was the alcohol, but not killer. I mean, the same as you pay.
A pint was 10 quid.
Yeah. So the
you
same
pay
you pay
7 quid in
so
a
you'd
city.
be paying 6, 7 in anything like Birmingham or London or anything like that. So it was more expensive, but that definitely didn't outweigh. I would say the overall cost was so similar you can't split it.
Outweighed the cost of food and drink didn't outweigh. The savings on the.
So then the extra bit that I thought was really good is everybody's speaking English. Naturally, all Norwegians speak English as well as we do.
With no attitude.
Well, I've got to defend the French here. When I've been to France, I've not met the old thing when we grew up. Very rarely, I agree. But absolutely nothing in Norway. And the main reason it's so nice in English, it just means everybody's having a laugh and joking and talking in English. So it's not to me that, it's just there isn't the language barrier that can sometimes be there. Just doesn't exist in Norway, which is lovely. And the last thing is they have a real Nordic style. There is a
real
definite
Nordic
style,
vibe,
especially when you're a bit more like our age.
It's cozy, it's low lighting. The restaurants, I mean,
Lots of fires.
See where you're going. It was the cozy. I mean, the Danes have a word for it, and it's hyggelig. Hygge is the
Hygge is what
well,
I was
no,
thinking.
hygge is like cozy, and
Okay.
hyggelig it means like cozy, but this is cozy,
Right, okay.
As far as I understand it, from listening to.
I think we may get a few
Let's-
Norwegian
let's
listeners.
Let's hope we do.
To
Let's
correct-
hope we do.
to
Please,
correct us,
our
yes.
Norwegian listeners, correct us.
So the overall thing I thought was, I wouldn't say the après ski was amazing, although the last night we
It's
went to
very
a much
Nordic
more,
again.
but we went to a much more bouncy bar the
Yeah.
last night. So it's not it, and the resorts are smaller. There's no question.
Mm-hmm.
The resort we were in, which is Hemstedel,
God almighty, you've only been there 5 minutes and you can't even.
Hemsteli.
Hemsedal.
That's what I said, Hemstedal.
No, Hemsedal.
Hemsedal, that's pretty close. But the point about that is, if you went to a big French resort, they would probably have, in one resort, they'd have 5 of them. You could go to 5 different resorts that would have that many. But I don't think it was a negative. We were there for a week, and I felt it was big enough that I could go back again and have at least another week exploring more of it. Oh, what about, I know we haven't actually talked about skiing, which is part of what skiing really is. But what about the yurts and the barbecue on the
bit
snow?
of barbecuing on the side.
So what they have on one of the runs is they have these yurts, like little tents things. Barbecues in, they supply all the barbecue stuff. So everybody gathers on these. There's about 6 of them. And basically you just bring your sausages up and your bread and whatever, and you sit there and have a really good barbecue.
And we met some very nice Norwegian people who gave us some reindeer.
And the reindeer was gorgeous.
It was very
wasn't
good. It was very tender.
nice.
I had reindeer before when I was in the Canadian Arctic.
So in the sorry,
But
I didn't
no,
stop you.
no, good.
So in the general sense, I just wanted to get this across for you. What would you say is because there's lots of things we can do. We drive cars, we ride motorbikes, we mess about, we do lots and lots of different things. Why is skiing popular? Why do you think so many people around us want to go skiing? What is it about skiing that's different?
Well, if you were to ask me honestly, do I enjoy the skiing
Itself, yeah.
I would say probably no, not really.
Do you want to say why?
I would. I have problems with my knees, but it's like sliding down a hill. Hang on, no, let me finish.
I wasn't going to stop you. I just thought you were going to say it's like sex.
No,
That's what I thought you were about to say.
No, it's not. Sex
That's
is much better.
know,
no,
but,
ski, I mean, look, no, it's.
Sorry, that's what I thought you were going to say.
Listen, I ski because my friends ski, and it's sociable, and we have fun together. And if we stay in a chalet or hotel, whatever, we always do group holidays and so on. But if you talk rationally, sticking a couple of planks on your feet and sliding down the hill, going wee, basically internally, grow up.
By the way, internally, I'm mostly going.
Yeah, I know, but it's just no, it's not. It's not. I don't. I don't get that childish thrill of whizzing down a hill.
It's
there's
interesting.
a certain technical aspiration
There's a
to
lot.
getting it right.
Yeah.
But really, if I could just helicopter myself and meet people on the slopes and do all that sort of stuff, it'd be great. That'd be fine with me.
It's funny because I didn't actually know you were going to say that.
No, I don't like skiing.
No, what I'm saying
I
is
don't actually like skiing.
Right.
I like the company, I like the occasion, I like
I'm
the
just saying I'm very
snow.
surprised because, you would think, because we've skied quite a lot.
Yeah.
And that's what this podcast does. It is very strange, isn't it, Mark, that we actually find ourselves finding out about each other things we just didn't know. I would not have expected that from you.
Yeah.
Because I've always considered myself to have the kind of, I love everything about skiing, apart from maybe the skiing itself, right?
apart from the skiing.
But I'm going to come at it from a different place. I think, and I am surprised, I'm genuinely surprised. I know the last few years it's been, you're fighting your knees and you're not able to do the kind of skiing I've seen you do when we started.
Yeah.
And it was always like,
Yeah.
when I say everything about skiing, for me it changes. It's such a weird thing for me. I have good days and bad days. And on the bad days, it's one of the most annoying, irritating, I don't know why I do it, things I've done. On good days...
It's a bit like my relationship with you. On good days, it could be... Carry on.
No, I'm doing my mic technique.
Yeah.
Right, anyway. No, and on good days, it's stunning. But the reason it's stunning, I'm talking about the skiing itself, the technical enjoyment of skiing. And for me, it translates to when I rode motorbikes and when I raced motorbikes and when I did lots of things. If you try and get good at something, it's because it's difficult. I think skiing is actually quite difficult. Not quite. It's taken me about 10 years to get good, and I consider myself good now. Not brilliant. There's way people better than me. But I would say I can ski now.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
I can.
Oh, yeah,
and
you
it took
can,
me,
you can.
it took me 7, I would say 7 of those 10 years. Even 3 years ago, I would have gone, yeah, I can ski, but I wouldn't say I can ski. You know what I mean? So that just on the skiing itself, the things that are unique to me, I agree with you entirely, that what surrounds it makes it unique.
That's the fun. That's
a
fun.
lot of
you
the
know,
fun.
I like the whole chalet thing. I like doing that nice and cozy outside. All that cozy in the snow thing is great. If we could just eliminate the ski.
Yeah,
and if there was something else to do other than sort of sit around a fire and get pissed.
I think there is something unique about it because, and I've thought about this. So one is, let's see if you agree with me. One is that it's unique compared to any other sport you might do in the UK, right? You know, cycling, running,
and
whatever.
it's frightfully middle class for a nice socialist like you.
Just hang on.
Well, you always do that. You've got no answer for it.
Let's stay on this one. Oh, believe me, I'll get you on the champagne thing later.
Whatever.
Right. But anyway, no, the unique things. So one of the things that's unique compared to, I think, every other activity that brings people together is this makes you leave your home. It makes you leave and generally go with other people to a completely different
winter holiday.
Completely different environment. So it's almost got that element of when people go camping, you know, when we're younger. You are leaving your normal environment and spending a period of time in a completely different environment with people. So
It's
that's
a lovely
special.
winter holiday in beautiful scenery.
Yeah.
Where you all get together and have fun in a way that you wouldn't for.
You'd go home, wouldn't you? You'd be going home.
You're all there, and you live in each other's pockets for better or worse.
Absolutely.
and it's cozy and lovely, and it gives you something to do during the day.
Well, that's right, but that thing is tricky. It's a tricky thing. So we're all talking about it. It has an element of danger. What I find interesting is loads of people.
When you're around,
there is
tell
that.
us your record of crashing into people, John.
No, this
or,
one,
or going off the edge of the piste and disappearing into the.
I want to be absolutely clear.
snow.
This holiday, I collided with.
No, that's not true.
This holiday?
We were sat together on the lift.
This holiday?
Yes, this holiday. We were sat together on the lift, okay? And I was on the left-hand side. You were on the right-hand side.
Go on.
Okay? And you cut right across me.
Yeah, but you don't
when
count.
you came off the lift.
You don't count.
Oh, okay.
That was a
All right,
political
fair enough.
statement.
Fair
and I
enough.
didn't cut across you. You went the wrong way.
No, I didn't. I went... anyway.
Right. So it's special because people get together. It's special because of where it is. I think it's special because the first of all,
it's frightfully middle class.
It's strenuous activity for most people. You know, most people don't put in as much effort as they put in that.
Do you find it strenuous?
Yeah, it takes effort. No, I think it does for most people.
Weakling.
But here's the cruel thing about skiing. The more effort, at the beginning when it's hard, it's the most effort. The better you get, the less
the easier
energy
it
you
is. Yeah,
expend.
absolutely.
Which is why the people, if you're ever skiing and you're dying because you're just exhausted, and everyone around you is faster than you and easier, and they don't seem to be doing any work at all. That's because they're doing almost no work at all.
That's right.
Anyway, so that's skiing.
So that's skiing.
So basically, you don't like skiing. I do like skiing, but I get where you're coming from.
I like skiing. I like the environment. I like the company of the people. I like the chalet, or if we're all together in an apartment.
Yeah.
I love the sociability. And that it gives me something to do. And I have to say, my knees suffered really badly this time. My knees and I've already had.
Although you got it better at the end.
I got it a bit better at the end.
But it's never going to be perfect again, is it?
No, it's painful.
Can I say this? In most groups I'm with, by the way, if you've never been skiing and if you're not actually interested in it, most groups I've been, there's usually one or two people who go just to hang out with everybody, and they don't go skiing. They don't want to go skiing. So they'll go and do walks up. It's beautiful scenery. You're in the Alps. So they go up, they go up to see some of the beautiful sights while the other people go skiing.
Yeah.
And then meet them about 4:00, and all the social stuff starts from there.
Yeah, and you can, if you've got a lift pass, you can go up and meet people at restaurants and stuff.
Yeah. So that's what we've been doing.
Anyway, enough of the middle class. Let's.
He has got the thing up his ass about this, hasn't he? Really, dear listener, hasn't he just? Right, anyway.
No, you have.
Right, some music?
Okay, so this is